Warm up your kotatsus and grab your dagashi because you're going to want to be comfortable for this. Welcome to Girls, Gays, and Animes. Join us, self-proclaimed anime aficionados and our other otaku friends, as we dive headfirst into the wacky, wonderful, and occasionally downright weird world of anime. From swoon-worthy romances to blood-pumping action and everything in between. We're here to entertain, enlighten, and maybe even make you ugly laugh a few times. So snuggle up or do whatever you have to do to get in the anime mood because it's about to get weebtastic in here. Welcome to episode 1 of Girls, Gays, and Animes. I am your host, Valzaraptor. I am here with my co-host, the beautiful tea, just like the beverage. No other differences. They're the same. Tea, do you want to say hi?
Hi, I'm a short glass of something.
We'll say that you're sweet tea today. You reserve the right to be an unsweetened bitter tea later. We'll say, do you want to be an iced tea, an iced sweet tea today, or like a
Yeah,
hot
I'm
sweet
I'm an
tea?
I'd say I'm an iced sweet tea today. Today was a pretty chill day. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to rumble with episode 1. And yeah, iced sweet tea today.
Hell yeah! All right, cool. So, why are you here? Why is anyone here to listen to us? So, first of all, thanks for whoever's listening, whoever is here to listen to us ramble on about stuff that we enjoy. We hope that you also enjoy the same things as us. I think that a lot of this podcast is going to be kind of like how the intro said, us talking through different types of animes, but we reserve the right to talk through different mangas. We can talk through manhwas. I mean, at some point, I think we're planning on talking through different video games. So maybe some like otome games and some dating sims and stuff. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. We've got a Discord server. Everything will kind of be linked if anyone wants to join into this community. It's going to be awesome. But the focus for today is going to be introducing you all to who we are and what we personally love about anime. So, Tia, to kick it off, what would you say is like your top anime, or like what are your favorite anime styles that you enjoy watching?
So, I would say I have a spectrum. Girlhood is a spectrum, and so is my anime choices.
And so is my autism.
I love Full Metal Alchemist. That has always been one of my favorites ever since I was a kid. My very first anime was My Neighbor Totoro when I was like 3 or 4. That's how I got into anime. My mom was taking me to our local video rental place, and I was very obsessed with cats. And my mom looked up and saw cartoon and cat and said, "Winner!" Took that home, and I don't think she realizes, but that changed me for life.
Mother of the year, mother of the century.
She tries.
It was a pivotal moment, I think, in your life, and it's something where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
sick.
So yeah, My Neighbor Totoro, Full Metal Alchemist. I love Hellsing, Fruits Basket. You know, Spectrum.
Hell yeah. I think so. At some point, I think I'm gonna have to do like a tattoo tour, because
Hmm.
featured here on my art wall, I've got Fruits Basket here, kind of like surrounding this little juice box. But this juice box is actually a low key homage to Haikyuu.
Aww.
So super cutie. And then one of my little, I've got, oh, I don't even know where everything is mapped out on here. Oh, I've got a little ghosty, little Totoro, little ghosty Totoro off in the back.
Aww.
He's so cute. Love him. I've got soot sprites on my forearm there. Um, I've got the Gudetama, but it's different. So this little guy here, he's actually from like a single panel of and I guess for those that are listening and that are not watching, I'm kind of going through my different tattoos that I have. I've got a patchwork, whatever I'm feeling at the time, sleeve. So I've got everything from like the Soul Eater Sun to a Puchita. I've got a Calcifer, but then I've also got like a little No Feet, which is a Beetlejuice reference. I've got the little JoJo's menacing symbols. I've also got Little Bun from Iran High School Host Club. So just I feel like I know I said I was gonna do a whole tour, but partial tour. Oh, I was getting at a point here. So this is like a little squid person. He's got a little scythe. He's super cute. It's from a single panel of Spy Family, and I don't expect anyone to ever get the reference because it's just something that I saw and I was like, that looks so cool. I want a Spy Family tattoo, but I don't just want like the normal like heh Anya. Though I do have like I have another Anya like panel on my leg. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I like to keep it low key. It's one of those like if you know, you know, like sort of things. But I feel like, oh, I like my anime tattoos a lot, and in fact, um, my husband does a podcast, and he's doing a panel at an anime convention on anime tattoos. So I get to help because I feel like I'm a professional now. So
You got
yeah,
the creds.
got the creds. I got the ink.
Every
So
time I look at you, I'm like, oh, I remember this one, I remember that one, and then you're like, whoop bam, secret surprise, and I'm like, didn't know that was there.
I don't want to like whip my legs onto the screen because I'm worried I'm gonna kick something here on my setup. But that's what we'll save the full tour for is
Mm-hmm.
going through the ones that are like also on my legs and stuff. So
I, plot twist, have no tattoos. I have nothing to bring to the table.
I don't even know how many tattoos I have. I don't even think that I could count if I tried because it would depend on how you would classify like what one tattoo is. Like this
Right,
is
like your arm. Yeah, I
is
was just
this
looking at your
one?
arm.
Is this one tattoo? I don't know.
Yeah, I plan to get tattoos, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's a plan. Do I put it into action? No. Do I have ADHD? Yes. It's the thought that counts.
I started off slow and then I just like full scent. Like first I was like, oh, they've got to have meaning, and now I'm like, it means that I'm cool.
I mean, you're cooler than me.
Oh, so romantic, T. You are a sweet tea today.
I try. I'm
So
trying to think of like an obscure anime that I like that because I feel like I just said a bunch of basic
there's nothing.
like
So that's a good point. Okay, so I want to call attention to the fact that this is a safe space. It's
it's true,
okay
it's true,
to
it's true.
like basic animes. You don't have to have some obscure anime like favorite. Like it's you like what you like. You love who you love. That's my tagline now, right?
I do have one. I have one that I whip out on occasion that
Whip it out. Whip it out.
there's only so like a handful of people that have seen this. Freddie Mercury is a character in the show and they eat pencils. If anyone has ever seen Cromartie High, top tier. I watched that when I was in like middle school on some random obscure channel. It would only come on at like 11 o'clock at night, and it was wild. It's hysterical, and only a handful of people ever know what I'm talking about when I bring it up. It's like a kid who gets sent to this school of ruffians, and he's not like a tough guy, but I mean, they're all tough kids, but it's a very funny show. And like I said, Freddie Mercury is a character.
That's the first viewing party we've got in our Discord channel. We have a whole section for viewing parties. So I propose to host a viewing party of this obscure
Let me
anime
just
that
dig
you.
out the file real quick. Let me find the obscurity. Hold tight.
Oh my gosh. I don't. So I think that I'm basic because I feel like anytime I talk about like something that I enjoy, it's something that like a lot of people enjoy. But I also don't
Hmm.
know that that necessarily makes it basic. So like I'll approach it. So like I obviously have these tattoos of like different animes that I like, and that kind of gives some perspective. Where I feel
Hmm.
like my tastes range from like the cutie like fruits. Well, I don't want to say fruits basket is cutie. It is cutie. It's also traumatic, but who isn't traumatized? But like also okay, so I'm like staring at my posters like around my office, and like I've got my like Yuri on Ice like peak, and other like cutie animes or animes that I'd
Hmm.
classify as cutie, which would be like Skate the Infinity, super cutie to me. Okay,
Hmm.
but then I kind of like delve off into like I love Chainsaw Man. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. Speaking of trauma, I am caught up. I am still crying myself to sleep. So it's kind of like a range, and then anything like kind of in between too, right? Like there's obviously like normal romances and slice of lifes. Um, I don't know. It's kind of I don't think there's anything like obscure that I'm super into. There's I will say one that's like I don't know if it's obscure. It's I think did you were we talking about it where it's like it's about the girl and Wonder Egg Priority. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Yes, yes. I was gonna say an anime about a girl. I
I
can
was gonna
tell you
say, I was
those.
gonna say, and there are eggs, and then I was like, wait, that's the name.
There are girls with eggs.
Okay, but with that description, would you not have guessed that?
No, I would have. I would have
That's what
gotten there,
I
but
mean.
then like my mind kind of starts trailing off, and it's like, okay, what else has eggs?
Yeah, like you don't
Like,
want to
are
say
we?
Wonder Egg because it seems too obvious.
Yeah, but like, like Misty had the Togepi egg. I mean, Brock was taking care of it, and then Misty it hatched, and Togepi was like, "Mom, but that's a girl, and that's an egg."
It's true. I wouldn't say it's like the main premise though.
No, no.
Yeah. So that one was sick. I also like not just like anime shows, but like anime movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
A little
I
bite-sized something.
yeah. So I recently watched Your Name.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Um, another movie that I really liked, and I think I recommended this in one of the group chats that we're in, and it's the To Every You I've Loved
Mm-hmm.
Before,
Mm-hmm.
and like its kind of counterpart.
Yes.
Like the kind of ones that like there's like a romantic undertone, but it's also a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know
those are
how
good.
you would classify those. But then like outside of anime too, like I'm on like webtoons, I'm reading. I was so excited to see Marry My Husband. I am in the process of watching the live action on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Prime because I read through the webtoons and I blasted through it. It was so good. And like I know that we have like a couple of friends too who are planning on coming on and talking about like different manhwas and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I just feel like my taste ranges. I wouldn't say that
Yeah.
I'm like a complex person, but
You're a
it's
spectrum.
a spectrum. Love,
So,
love,
like, what was
love.
your first anime? I said mine. I said mine was Totoro. And then I moved into Sailor Moon and Pokemon, you know, the whole
So
intro to being a weeb gambit.
I'm I'm a late in life anime embracer.
Really?
I am. Yeah, so that's not to say that I didn't watch like I watched some Dragon Ball. I watched some like and I don't know if I think it depends like on how people classify this, but like I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like I watched like stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But like my first like my intro to anime in adulthood was actually Bee and Puppy Cat.
Aw.
I was like sick. I was like real sick. Feeling like hot garbage. And I was like, babe, I want to watch something cutie. Will you put something cutie on? I'm sicky. And he's like, I got you, fam. And he put on Bee and Puppy Cat, and I was like obsessed with it. So I was like kind of like my first like I don't want. It's like, would you classify it as an anime?
Wow. I feel like that's an episode. What defines an anime? You know, like,
Yeah.
is because I remember when I was in like early middle school, like sixth grade, if you count that as middle school, that but like that was when Totally Spies came out.
Oh,
And
totally spies. Sorry, keep going.
is that an anime? Like it has anime-esque things, but it
It
was made in
does.
France.
It's made in France. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
like
if I remember
screaming.
correctly, it
I'm
was
so
French.
surprised.
Yeah, and there was another show that was associated with that, and I'm not Marvin something. It was like no, not Paranorman, that's a different thing. But there was like this other show that was made by the same studio, and they would have like callbacks to Totally Spies, and it was this kid who was like part of this organization that looked for paranormal things. And I was obsessed with that too. But they were made in France, but they look like an anime, just
Yeah.
like with Avatar. It was made here
Mm-hmm.
in America. Hi, we're American, in case you can't tell.
It
But you know, is that an anime?
solid point. I remember now what my actual maybe first anime obsession was.
Mm,
And maybe it's two because I don't know which one came out first. I know like everyone was like super into Pokemon, but I was obsessed with Digimon.
good.
Like
Good.
it was for me it was Digimon above Pokemon. Hot take, right? But
Right.
I loved Digimon, and I was obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Really. I
I
watched it, but I wouldn't say I was obsessed with it. Like that phase when you're first starting to get into anime, I was like, I have to consume as much media as humanly possible. What is
mhm
on?
mhm.
And I liked Yu-Gi-Oh, but it wasn't like I'm not still obsessed with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not now. I do have a Dark Magician Girl figure, but that's not. Well, I have to do a figure tour too because I can't even begin to describe the number of figures in my office. But like with Yu-Gi-Oh, I collected the cards. I had the Xbox game. I like played on my Xbox. I had like one of
Hmm.
those like sick like things that go on your arm and you
Oh
like
yeah, the card thing.
fell for my trap card is something that I probably still say today. So pivotal.
It made you who you are.
It did. It
Yu-Gi-Oh and Totoro shaping the youth.
it's exactly what like the moms are afraid of. They're like
Yep.
they're afraid of the Totoros, the Yu-Gi-Ohs and Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. What else are they afraid
I
of?
mean, yeah, they're always afraid of Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like there's something more recent that they're afraid of too, but I can't remember.
Books.
Taylor Swift. They think
What?
Taylor Swift is
Sound like
they think
screaming.
Taylor Swift is casting spells and stuff. Now that she talks about astrology and numerology, and specifically in her song Willow, it looks like she's casting a spell during the Eras tour.
Nothing says Shadow Wizard Money Gang like Taylor Swift.
Can you say that like Shadow Wizard Money Gang?
Nothing says Shadow Wizard Money Gang like Taylor Swift. That'll be our intro from now on.
Yeah, that's just how the episode starts.
Shadow Wizard Money. I don't know. Might be. Is that trademark? Will we get in trouble for that?
I don't know. Tyler, will we get in trouble for that?
we'll have our um we'll have our legal team investigate it and we'll circle back. Um,
Back to the notes.
I know. I know that we let's talk about some other stuff. So, what like the kind of the structure I think for the podcast is going to be maybe something regular like where we go through a classic, either one of our favorites or if people start interacting in the Discord and in the chats on the YouTubes and the whatnots, we'll kind of like take that feedback and do full reviews of
Mhm.
classics. I don't want to get into too much of the like watching episodes as they come out and talking about it because um not everyone can stay like on top of the newest episode all the time. People get busy.
Mhm.
We're adults, kind of. So I would rather like go through the classics and then like maybe talk through different stuff where it's like, I watched this and by the way, if you like Fruits Basket, then you'll probably like Horimiya and like we'll kind of
Mhm.
use that as a bit of the conversation and how that's gonna go. And so that'll kind of be our regular our our normal everyday, not everyday, our regular episodes. And then we'll have alternate episodes that are outside of our regularly scheduled episode, right? Where we're
Yeah.
talking through like special topics. And boy, oh, do I have a list of special topics for everyone. Man, these
And
things, gold.
and during a lot of those, we're going to have I almost said experts. I mean, they might be an expert. Somebody might know more than someone else about another topic, and we don't have to be mad about it. What a
I
concept!
I certainly am no expert, except for in
And
tattoos. Apparently, that is we've already decided that. I'm not backing down on that. I am an anime or manga tattoo expert. Tagline. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram. That's what it is.
you're an aficionado.
Aficionado.
I say that about my cat because his first few years of life, not few years, but like first couple months of life, TLDR, my grandfather was super allergic to cats. And before he adjusted to said cat being in the house, Dawn lived in a bathroom. And that's where he stayed for an extended period of time until my grandpa's allergy medicine like finally kicked in.
He was a
So I
toilet
say
boy?
he was a toilet boy. I say Don is a bathroom aficionado. Anytime we moved into a new place, that was the first thing he checked out was the bathroom.
Toilet bound Don-kun.
That is one of my favorites. I love Hanako-kun. Speaking of which,
I also loved Toilet Bound. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. It's good
oh,
stuff.
you're not caught up on the manga?
I'm bad.
That's another one of trauma.
Lord. I do this thing where it's like if I find like an anime that I want to watch, but I'm like, ooh, I bet the manga's good. I will read the manga before I'm allowed to like start sometimes.
Mm.
And then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
if I watch an anime and then become immediately devastated because it ends abruptly without my
Mm-hmm.
permission, then like I go back and I panic read.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. We'll get your opinion on it. When I go back to read a manga on an anime that I watched, I start from the beginning. I don't start from where it ended.
I do that too. I feel like
Okay.
for me, it might depend. But like I remember with Hanako-kun, I was so obsessed with it. I wanted to see the differences because
Mm-hmm.
I grew up during the time ye old tea grew up during the time of the the manga wasn't coming out as fast as the show was being made. So how the original Fruits Basket didn't have the ending that was intended.
Nightmare.
The original Full Metal Alchemist didn't have the original intended ending. So I'm used to going back and reading and making sure the stars align and everything is set the way it was. Because
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember when Full Metal Alchemist, the 2003 version, was airing, I was so obsessed, I started reading the manga, and I read ahead to the point where it split, and I didn't know that it was going to split when it did. So I was all anticipating this thing happening, and then it didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've gotten here. I know where I am, and everything is different from here on out. And I like both for different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
but I still remember that. Like, it scarred me for life. So now I'm like, I have to go back and I have to read it. If I really like it a
Mm-hmm.
lot, if I'm like casually into it, I might not. I might just pick up where the show had left off. But if I'm very much obsessed with it, I definitely go back and reread.
I I did that with not that I was watching it as it came out, but Oran High School Host Club. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back and I'm reading this. This is gold. This is literary gold. I'm going back and I'm reading this from the very beginning. And it wasn't a fight per se, but I found myself at a an anime convention, as one does. And it was like a it's supposed to be like a court situation where it was like ship court. And so the
Were you
host
Phoenix writing it?
yeah, so like I was like getting I don't want to say I was getting a fight, but like it was me against the entire rest of the room.
Okay.
But like imagine the scene, okay, there's like a spinning dial and it's got a bunch of animes on it, and then the dial
Mm-hmm.
stops and it stops on Oran High School Host Club. And then
Okay.
the audience is supposed to engage, and someone stands up and is like, I would like to propose um like these two people as a ship for this show. They are the
Okay.
one true pairing. That's who they are. And then someone will get up and argue if they
Okay.
think that there is a better ship for it. And what is your stance on the ship situation for Iran? Do you have one?
Not really. I I was a casual Oron fan.
Okay, all right.
I feel like I don't have enough of a background to really give a topic, but I know the characters, so I'm interested to hear your take.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up. I want to make sure that I'm not like totally like on off the rails on this one, right?
I mean, it
So
already sounds like we're going off some rails, so.
I yeah, okay. So for those that are familiar or not familiar, I'm bad with names, so we'll kind of and so other people I assume are also bad with names. We watch so many animes. There's only so many names that my brain can retain. So Haru, the main, it's obviously a situation where there's like multiple guys. It's a reverse harem. We all know, we all love it. Love to see it. So the leader becomes kind of like the main
Yeah.
implied love interest by the end of it. But it like ended up being written that way because sorry, so back to the scene, right? So someone gets up and they're like, obviously it's the way that it played out. And I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there and I am gripping my chair because it was actually originally supposed to be like the really tall, quiet guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh Mori, I think is again, I'm terrible with names, Mori senpai.
Same.
So he's like um he's the one that kind of protects Honey senpai,
Yes,
the
yes,
smaller
yes.
one. So he, the tall one, was actually supposed to be the main love interest. But as they were writing the
Yeah.
manga, like people got mad and I don't know. So basically the writer changed how it played out. But it was
Mm.
originally supposed to be canon that Haru was with Mori senpai and not what's his face.
Interesting. That makes me want to read it with that lens and
Yeah.
like get
Mm-hmm.
that perspective.
It's totally different because like I obviously watched it and I didn't know that, but then like I learned that and I knew it before I read it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So okay,
Interesting.
back to the scene because I'm not done. It gets dramatic. Okay, so I'm getting there. I have anxiety. I'm like, I can't let this go on. I have to say something, and like because they're like, does anyone disagree? And I was like, like raising my hand, and I say it, and everyone's like basically like, boo, get out of here. And as I'm like trying to say like, no, like it's canon, like it's true canon. Someone cosplaying as Haruhi comes in the room, and I was like, Haru, get to the front! You have to defend your honor! She goes up to the front and she's like, no, it's Mori. And I'm like, ah! Eat shit, everyone else. So I felt vindicated at this random anime convention. So it was unhinged. I loved it. So don't worry, there will be an episode on ships. We'll go through it. But yeah, because obviously like people are passionate about it.
Also, I think an episode about conventions would be really interesting because I've been going to conventions since 2005. Since
Mhm.
I was 14 years old, I've been going to conventions.
What I might end up doing is because we've got a couple conventions planned, what I might do is like grab some light footage like at
Yeah.
conventions and maybe just post it on our YouTube channel. And then like maybe we can talk about it, or even if we like talk about it, like you can show clips. I've got some overlays where like we can put up clips
Mhm.
and talk about different stuff. I want to get like more I like do some like loose cosplay like just for funsies.
Yeah.
So one that
Casual cosplay.
casual. So like me and my bestie, we did a casual cosplay of some Sailor Moon characters, but as Playboy bunnies at
Cute.
a convention that we went to late last year. I'm going to like a tabletop and video game kind of convention in March, and I'm going to be cosplaying as for those that watch Dropout or don't, basically like you can watch someone else host D&D and I watch it because it's entertaining to me, but I'm cosplaying as one of those people's D&D characters.
You say that like it's not normal.
I'm
Like
I'm so excited
people
about it.
definitely do that.
No, I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to convince some other people that are going to do other D&D characters from the same campaign. So I don't care if I'm alone or not. I'm like really excited about the cosplay too. So I got that planned. Yeah, so I don't know. I want to have more fun at conventions, and I think this is like I'm like
Hmm.
gatewaying myself into it. I don't think that I'm gonna be like good, and I'm not gonna like make a ton of stuff from scratch or anything, but I have fun with it.
Are
That's
you
what
gonna be
matters.
professional? Leave me in the dust.
Absolutely not. Wigs, I overheat so easily that like I feel like true cosplay, I would burst into a ball of flames.
So one year at I went to Otakon. That was my first convention for
Huh.
many, many years. One year at Otakon, I cosplayed as Kyubey from Madoka Magica, but I was a like business professional version of Kyubey. Like I had a full-on white suit with a white pencil skirt. Like I had heels on that were like white glitter heels, and I had the wig, and it was like twin tails, heckin' long as anything. I lasted an hour. It
Better
was
than me.
hard. It was hard. I don't know how these people like I
No.
have friends that are like I would consider them professionals and I don't know how they do it.
They trying to come on. They
Legitimately.
trying to they trying to guest speak. I'm just kidding.
Let me rally the troops. Let me rally the troops.
Oh, that's yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like I've got like short hair, and even shoving the idea of shoving this much hair in a wig cap, I'm like already sweating. Like I'm barely wearing a shirt
Hmm.
now, and I'm sweating.
Yeah.
For those that can see me, don't imagine my sweat now, or do. You know what? I don't care. Imagine my sweat. I don't care. Um,
Check out our secret Discord where you can buy bottles of Val's sweat.
join our Patreon and buy my sweat.
We might even
We're
sell you
not
some
there
bag
yet.
water.
We're not there yet.
But we could
Um,
be.
my feet are ugly. No one asked for pictures.
Yeah, don't.
Um,
Of mine. I don't stare at your feet. I don't know how your feet are doing. I hope they're okay.
you know, yeah, they're right. Thanks for checking in.
Good, I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. Oh yeah, we also had did you want to talk about other hobbies and
Oh,
interests
yeah,
that we
like
have?
we are more than just sweat and feet, everyone, okay? We're more than that. We're people too.
We have brains and hearts and degrees.
We do have degrees. Degrees. And here we are. Yeah, yeah,
Yet
what do you
here we are.
here we are. Yeah, Tia, what do you do? T other than BT?
I BT, that's for sure. I am actually in a book club with you.
Yeah,
We
you are.
read. We're in a hot mess book club that meets once a month online because we have friends from all, like, not all over the country, but a good amount of the country
I think
that
that we've
we
got Texas, Maryland, Michigan. We had Florida, um,
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, I forgot about Georgia. Um, yeah, kind of everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm one of those people that got back into reading recently. Not super recently. So I'm a mom. That's one thing about me. And when I had my son,
Hashtag
I
boy
was
mom.
up. Thank you. I was up late feeding him, obviously, and while he was falling asleep, I needed something to do. So my loving husband bought me a Kindle,
Romance.
and it's not dead, guys. It's not dead. He bought me some
Romance
books. Mhm.
partner. That's another shout
Uh,
out to Dropout. Keep going. Sorry.
no, you're fine. So yeah, got back into reading. I do yoga frequently. That's also another witchcraft thing that the moms hate. Yoga. Uh, yep, yoga.
That's it. We're converting the podcast to all things the moms hate. The
That's our
animes. The
backup. That's the
yeah
backup one. If this one doesn't
yeah.
work, everything the mom hates. Yeah, I do yoga. I love going for walks. I play video games. I read.
Nerd.
I love graphic novels. Thank you. Right now I'm actually playing terribly. Hollow Knight.
Ooh,
I have
I've heard
never
good
played
things.
a Metroidvania. I'm one of those. I'm a backseat gamer. I play games, but if I think it's too hard for me, I will not play it, and I make the husband play it. So he suffers, and he's also colorblind, so I contribute by pointing out things that I don't think he sees. That's my job.
My husband is
Um,
also colorblind.
so my husband is two different kinds of colorblind. In one eye, he is yellow, blue colorblind, and in both eyes, he is green, red.
Dang. Mine just thinks that like our green towels are gray and that like certain things are brown when they're like gray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He can't see some of the like the numbers. It's like a he can't see like the numbers on like the little diagrams where they're like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bubbly. He can't see those.
Yeah. Mine can't either. So, yeah, I backseat game. Right now, we are currently together we're replaying Phoenix Wright. We are still in
Ah!
the first Ace Attorney game. We are doing the bonus
Love
case
it.
that was uploaded into the DS remake, and then we're moving on from there. Uh, yeah. I love Pikmin Bloom. Any Pikmin Bloom players out there, it's the Pikmin version of Pokemon Go. But I just turn it on when I walk and I plant little flowers and my Pikmin show up and they're like, "Hey, I'm wearing a fun little hat." And I'm like, "Thanks for curing my depression, babe." So, that's what I do. Oh, I also work part-time at a museum.
You play D&D too, right?
Oh yeah, I play D&D. I do that. I roll the dice. I like to bake. I play D&D. I have two dogs and a cat, if that's a hobby. I guess I have a corgi, and I feel like that's a hobby.
That is
The
a
amount of
hobby.
energy this dog requires of me is a hobby.
Yes. Corgis are like, I don't want to say, I feel like cult's a bad word, but like there are corgi people.
Yes, yes, yes. I wouldn't say that we're corgi people. Like,
Hmm.
we really like corgi as a, like, I am first and foremost, unfortunately, a Chihuahua person. I love them little ankle biters. They fill my heart with joy.
That explains why you're friends
And
with Katie. I'm just kidding.
yeah, our,
Katie
our
will be
friend
on the
Katie
podcast
is
eventually. You'll understand later. Don't worry, everyone.
she's tried to steal my Chihuahua multiple times, so it also checks out. But we always wanted a more active dog because our Chihuahua is very much a couch surfer. So we got, and we wanted something that wasn't huge because I was afraid a big doofus dog would end up kicking the Chihuahua like into oblivion by accident. So we got a corgi, and she is she's a little tank with big brown eyes and loves her ball. Mike, my husband, took her out the other day and they were playing ball, and there's a pond in our community, and her ball ended up bouncing into the pond, and she has no self-preservation whatsoever and started gunning for it, so he had to grab her and put her back inside
Poor
before Corgi
baby.
ended up in the pond.
She just want ball.
Ball is love, ball is life.
Oh, baby.
What do you do other than get tattoos?
I as you said, big doofus dog. I looked over at my big doofus dog that's laying on the ground. She's I have two cats and two dogs. Um, our cats, my husband named them, are Luke and Leia. There's Calico and dumb little orange boy. He is Orange Cat, and then I we have so the two dogs. They are Zoe. She is a pit bull rescue, and then there's Arnold, who is a liver spotted Dalmatian. So instead of black spots, he has brown spots. Um,
Oh. So, do Zoe and Arnold, do their names have any significance behind them, or did you just like Zoe and Arnold?
So the significance behind Zoe is I needed like a really short and easy name for my big dummy blockhead baby to learn, because
Mm-hmm.
her foster name was Shamrock, and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't respond to Shamrock either. So
Mm-mm.
I feel you, girl. So yeah, Zoe, that was her, and then Arnold was so. One of my other hobbies is I'm like big into weight training. So Arnold is actually named after Arnold Schwarzenegger. So,
Oh, that's sweet.
but he gives off more like old man Arnold vibes
Yeah, yeah.
than like strong, um, like gym dog vibes. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is anxious. He is like a mama's boy. He's needy. Um, all
I
those
love
things.
Arnold. Hey, good boy.
He's sweet. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's smart, and his smarts make up for the brain cells that are missing from my beautiful pit bull baby. So whenever she doesn't like
Hmm.
learn anything, she just copies whatever he does for snacks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I covered. I like to yeah. So like I like to weightlift. I used to powerlift competitively. I have a state record.
Ooh,
I am retired though, and by that I mean I'm out of shape.
mood.
um, so now I just work out. What do I tell my coworkers? I like to work out so that when people look at me, they think that I work out.
Hmm.
But I don't like. I mean, I like to be strong. Don't get me wrong. Like I want to be. Um, ideally, I would love to like scare men. Like when they look at me, I want men to be scared of me. So
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
another like secondary vibe that I want to give off. Um, so yeah, I like that. So video games. I do play some games. Like I used to be like my main game type was like cozy, like
Yeah.
chill Animal Crossing vibes. I've got my little Animal Crossing tattoo there, as proof that I Animal Cross.
You
But
crossed with them
I
animals.
crossed
You
some
crossed them
animals.
off.
I did. I crossed them all. But getting into like so my thing is I like co-op games.
Hmm.
And so that applies to like board games, video games. So I like games that like I can with friends like work towards a goal.
Hmm.
Um so like I played through the Trine series with some friends. Highly recommend. Those are super fun. Maybe I think it's the third one that was trash. Skip that one. Um and then what am I playing right now? I'm playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland right now.
What's that
And
about?
it's like by the people who made Borderlands,
Oh, okay.
but it's like you're in like you're a D&D character and Tiny Tina's like D&D game. And so like
Oh, that's
it's
cute.
so cute. It's super cute. So like I have like Tiny Tina's Wonderland like posters in my gym. So my gym, if you can picture it, is a bunch of like meathead gym equipment. But then I've got like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure posters, and I've got Tiny Tina's posters, and I have to move my Yuri on Ice poster down there. So that's kind of
Again, I love how we keep the girlhood as a spectrum. You're
yeah.
like the intense, like fit version, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for a hike, and then I'm gonna go outside and do yoga, and I'm gonna bake in the sun like a lizard.
I don't get me wrong. I love a good hot
Mhm.
girl walk. The problem is
Truth.
that my pit bull, being the dummy little sweet blockhead baby that she tore her ACL, and
Mm-hmm.
so going on long WALKs is difficult, and so we don't get to do those so much.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because she's a chunky little baby now, but like it gets hard on her. She's getting
Yeah.
older.
Same
Um,
thing with our Chihuahua. I didn't say any of my pets' names. The Chihuahua is named Emma. She's named after Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time. Fun fact. Anybody remember Once Upon a Time, that train wreck? So yeah, Emma has, I told you before, her kneecaps move
yes,
because she not built right. So Emma's
that
little kneecaps
happens.
move. But Echo the corgi is named after Echo from the Joss Whedon show Dollhouse. That was a singular season. Yep, yep. Continue to look confused. It's okay. It was one season and it was like barely enough episodes to consider it a season. And then my cat is named Dawn. He is a boy, but when I got him, we thought he was a girl. So and it took a really long time for even the vet thought that he was a girl. And then all of a sudden, his business dropped like the day before he was supposed to get fixed. And the doctor was like, I got good news and I got bad news. Good news, he's going to be cheaper because he's a boy to fix. So Dawn, he was Dawn for so long, I didn't want to change it. So Dawn is named after Dawn Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I'm surprised you didn't just like do a slight transition and call him Don. Like Don?
That's
Like
my,
Donald?
yeah, yeah, my
Okay.
grandmother did that, and I was like, no, it's Dawn like the sun, because he is an orange boy. He is
Okay.
a
All right.
dumb, pale, sherbety orange boy.
We love our little dumb orange boys.
He so he's like the weirdest orange cat. I think it's because he's like a paler orange cat. He
Mm-hmm.
has the orange cat energy, but then all of a sudden he like shuts down and then he's normal cat for a while. And then the orange cat just becomes too much in his little body and it takes over.
Orange
And
cat
by
light.
little, I mean he's like almost 20 pounds.
My cats are like 7 pounds.
He's a wild cat that we found
Ah,
outside, so
baby.
he's probably like mixed with Maine Coon and some feral monster from the woods.
Ours are the cats are rescues as well, and they were found outside of like a Kroger in Detroit or something. So they're like street cats.
I
They're
know what's up.
they were named Zig and Zag because they were found like in like a zigzag like fruit container brand box thing. So they named them Zig and Zag. We changed those names
That's
too.
really cute.
So I
I
told
do like Luke and Leia, don't get me wrong. I like Luke and Leia, but Zig and Zag is super cute.
here's the problem, okay? I was like, we already have two dogs. Their names are I like people names for pets. Zoe,
Yeah.
Zoe 101, Zoe Deschanel, Zoe anecdotal. We called her like Zoe and Zoe Deschanel once in front of someone. Someone misheard us and thought we said Zoe Dave Chappelle. So she is Zoe Dave Chappelle. That is her middle name. Um, but so anyway, we were getting the cats, and I told my husband, I was like, no, only human names for pets. And he's like, oh, we have a male and a female sibling pairing cats, and they have to have human names. And I was like, swear God, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And he's like, and I'm like, don't you do it. And he just like, I watch him write Luke and Leia on the adoption form. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
So that made me think of when I had my son. I was, just gave birth coming down off medication and everything. I was so scared to spell his name wrong on his birth certificate that I made my husband come over and I was like, I need you to do this. I am so scared right now. And then we both like checked it like 6 or 7 times before we turned it in because I was like, this kid, I'm not fixing this. This is a one and done. I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing paperwork. Ew.
It gives me hives.
Ew. Gross.
Oh yeah, we're both sorry, that just reminded me. I'm not going to tell y'all my son's name, but it's Disney related. We're both into Disney.
Yeah. I go to Disney at least twice a year.
I'm going for the first time since 2018 in May.
We're going in September for a week, and then we're going back in November.
Nice.
May should be nice. We made the mistake once of going in July and then doubling down and going back in August. Do not
Ugh,
recommend.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going
I don't
the
have any
very
Disney
beginning of
tattoos.
May. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have any Disney tattoos, honestly.
So this is just like a random swirl. It's aesthetic. This sleeve just aesthetics. But I joked that this was like a Moana, like low key Moana
Oh,
reference.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Fiti.
If you would get a Disney tattoo, what would you get? Putting you on the spot.
Okay, so growing up, my favorite Disney movie that I like, and it's sad. It's one of those things. Where, like as a kid, I'm like, haha, like I have all these like fun shows that I like watch as a kid, and then I rewatch them as an adult, and I'm like, this is sad as fuck. Oliver and Company,
Oh my gosh, we just watched that last night.
super sad, right? Like it's good, but like
Yeah.
as a child, like I loved watching that, and I'm like watching it as an adult, and I'm like, this is for children.
Yeah, that's the whole thing I was thinking yesterday because we're sitting there watching it with our son and it was my husband, one of his favorite movies growing up. And the whole time I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like obviously I've seen this movie. I know what's happening, but I'm like the 80s and 90s were a different time. They're like, here is obviously like this gang kingpin and this poor homeless man who's like taking advantage of this kitten who this
Stop.
rich girl has,
I'm gonna cry right now.
right?
Ugh.
Did you know Bette Midler is in that?
Really?
Bette Midler is the poodle that the rich little girl owns.
So, a Disney voice that surprised me was in Nightmare Before Christmas, Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Yes! Wild!
For those who maybe don't know names, but the mother from Schitt's Creek is
Mm-hmm.
actually one of like I don't remember which one, but she's one of those voice actors.
That
Um,
also makes sense though because she was in Beetlejuice, the
she was.
live action Beetlejuice, so there's
She's so
that Tim Burton
good.
connection.
Yeah, love Beetlejuice. So good. My husband and I actually went to see Beetlejuice the musical when they were in Detroit. So good.
Ooh, jealous.
Hmm.
Yeah, she is. Oh gosh. I don't remember the individual names, I'm blanking, but Lock, Shock, and Barrel, the little kids. She's
Yeah.
the witch.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying
Pee
to
Wee
think.
Herman's one of them too.
Yes, that was the other one that was like super surprising.
And then
Um,
Danny Elfman himself, I think, was one. Danny Elfman was one of the other little boys. I think. I just remember those two because I
that sounds
remember I was
right.
watching like a TikTok and they came out on stage and I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I watch real people shows too. I don't just watch the animes, just mostly
Mhm.
animes. We're not here to
What's
talk about
your
real people shows. Just
No,
kidding.
no. I mean, we can sometimes if we feel like it.
You guys into that?
Mhm. Are you into real people or are you only into 2D waifus?
Oh, don't get me started. There's another simps are for another episode. T. Absolutely, we do not have time today. No.
Don't worry, the tea will be piping then.
Woo! Hi, T. Just a quick overview of like some different podcast ideas that we were like talking through. For those that have made it this far into the episode, as we start to wrap up, I feel like we've been talking for a while, but we
Also,
obviously
thank you and sorry for the tangents. We
yes,
both have ADHD.
it is true, and my Adderall is worn off by now. So sorry to everyone, and thank you. Sorry and thank you. Mostly thank you.
Mostly thank
Sorry,
you.
not
But
sorry.
also sorry. Well, I'm an over apologizer, so sorry. Please don't look directly at me. I am a deer. I am the freeze of fight, flight, or freeze. I don't flee. I just.
um,
Anyway, topics.
yeah. So for the topics, I've got sexiest voice actors. So we've jumped a little. We talked a little bit, not necessarily about sexy voice actors. We talked about voice actors a little bit. Um, I have here top 5 gay anime. So bringing the gay into the girls' gays and animes. And when
Yeah,
I
you're
say,
probably like, what does our title mean?
yeah, you know what? That's a good point, Tia.
Quick
I
segue.
hold on because this is on me. I'm owning this. I am Velociraptor. Pronouns she, her, hers. T, if you wanna.
Yeah, yeah, same. T, she, her, hers.
Thank you. So yeah, so we're getting into the gays. That maybe we should. You know what? Disrespectful to me to also not mention that like one of my favorite like comfort like mangas to read are gonna be boy love mangas. Like I am that person.
Yeah.
Um, I'm. We have some other experts, self-proclaimed experts that we're going to be bringing on the show that are definitely more into like I don't want to say more into it than me, but like into like some different stuff. More into how would you describe what some of our self-proclaimed experts are into?
I wouldn't say they're Fujoshi, but they might be.
I might
They're
be. I
At least you admit it.
have a cup that says that and everything. I should have used that cup today. I'm like punching myself in the face. I should have used that cup today. Anyway, so yeah, top 5 gay animes. It may or may not be me talking about my favorite sports animes and how all sports animes are gay, but that's for another day. Shipwrecked, we talked about talking about different ships that are either good or bad. This one's probably more of like a toxic shipwreck. We're workshopping names. Anime vocabulary. So Tia just hit this right now. We talked about like fujoshi. What does that mean? Or at the beginning where I'm talking about like a kotatsu or dagashi. Like what does that mean? We'll have some vocab lessons, or we'll throw something on our Instagram. Who knows? We'll see. What would you get for one more season? So Tia's got that unhinged show. I think was that just one season that you were talking about at the very beginning? Like your
I don't even remember. I'm
what
gonna
day
have to.
is it?
It's a day of the week
Mm-hmm.
in the month of the year.
sometimes. Um, OPs. So talking through like some of those banger anime openings. We're gonna do some game shows. I'm gonna make some stuff up, and I'm gonna embarrass some friends. We're gonna do a
I'm
simp
really good at
roast.
making Jeopardy games.
I'm so bad at Jeopardy. It's like I have a lot of knowledge up here, okay?
Hmm.
But then when I need to access it, vault locked up. Cannot.
It's up
Eh.
here, but it doesn't want to come out of here.
It's in here somewhere. I just can't find it. So there's that.
Dig
Best
around in that mind palace.
palace. It's like more like a garbage heap to like sift through it. Anyway,
Mine's a tiny house with a garden.
I love that for you.
It doesn't hold a lot, but it's really cute.
Aww, it's poetic.
At least I'm honest about it.
Some weeb brands we love. So I buy a ton of stuff that I don't need. But I like it, and that's what matters.
Hmm.
So we'll talk through like some of our favorite brands for that stuff. Best pets. So you know, like we've got obviously like Best Boy, Puchita, and there's some other good ones out there like Bond, from Spy Family.
Hamtaro!
Hamtaro. Poorly explains. So we talked earlier about One Direct Priority, and I'm like, there's a girl and she's got these eggs and she's trying to save her friends. Guess what name that anime? Poorly explained. Needs no more explanation than that. Who needs therapy? Everyone needs therapy, but who in these animes really needs therapy? So talking through those mangas that need to be animes, different animes that broke my brain. So like I've watched, we talked through what we like. That doesn't mean that I've only watched that type of stuff. I've watched other stuff,
Hmm.
but maybe it broke my brain and I didn't like that very much because my brain is very fragile to begin with. So treat it nicely. Um, so, and then there's some other like fun stuff. Like we have a friend who put together a presentation on some different manhwas that she read, and she gave them spicy ratings. So if you're into that, tune into that episode. We got another friend who turned different anime scenes into an anti-sexual harassment presentation. So if she's willing to hop on and do that,
Hmm.
would love that. So we're here for the lulz. We're here to have a good time. If there, that wasn't even the full list of different fun topics that we're planning to go through, but drop a comment wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast, and engage with us. Let us know what you're into. We want to be what you're into.
I want to be where the people are.
I usually don't.
I mean that in like a metaphoric way. I literally don't want to leave my house. I
Mhm.
do though. I mean, I walk in the neighborhood. I don't want to leave my neighborhood, but I want to hear what you guys like. Come join
Yeah,
our Discord where we can all be somewhere together
but in our own homes.
in our own homes, away from one another. Maybe even in different continents.
That would be so cool. I would love that. Yeah, and then like yeah, engage in the Discord again. Tell us what you like. You heard that we do a book club. Maybe we'll do another like a manga book club or something fun.
Yeah,
Whatever you want. We're here for it.
we could do a fan fiction book club with warnings, because some of those get terrifying. I will not mention the one that I mentioned in our book club the other night.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want the name of that, engage in the Discord. Ah, cool. Any. That's. I'm gonna wrap it up. I think you've all listened to us talk long enough.
Mhm.
Any final words for our hopefully at least two viewers here for our first podcast recording?
Oh, thank the both of you for maybe making it to the end. If one of you even made it halfway through, that's pretty rad. Yeah, I'm just excited to talk to you and hang out and learn more because you can always learn more, you know?
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power and so is fun.
I've fun is power. I've never. Speaking of, my husband has a power tattoo. Sorry, tangent. It's super cute. Power is precious. R.I.P. Um,
What if they haven't seen that yet?
I can't come up with another acronym for RIP. Really interesting
Tyler, beep
person.
it out. Beep it out.
Really interesting person. That's what I meant when I said RIP. So in the future, if you hear, we'll put that in the vocab list. RIP means really interesting person. It definitely doesn't mean that they have passed away in any sort of tragic event involving birthday cake. It means nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah, if we say like ripperoni, that means they died. Ripperoni and cheese, my guy.
All right. On that note, we are ripperoni and cheese ourselves. It's late here wherever we are. It's bedtime, so we're wrapping it up. So, again, thanks everyone, every two people that listened to us this far. Until next time, ripperoni and cheese.
Ripperoni and cheese.
Bye.
Bye.